Hey everyone, it's Lynnea here for InkOn3, and today I am using two new products from the InkOn3 release that just happened about a week ago. I'm using the Lotus stamp set and the Curls stencil. So to start off with here, I'm going to be using a piece of watercolor cardstock. This is smooth watercolor cardstock. It's what I prefer to use, especially when I'm going to be stamping an image, just because it works a little bit better. Now, usually you would use an embossing ink for heat embossing, which is what I like to do when I'm going to watercolor because it creates those wells and prevents bleeding. But because the InkOn3 Blackout Hybrid Detail ink is a hybrid ink, if you work quickly enough, you can heat emboss. So I stamped the Lotus stamp, that large image, with the Blackout Hybrid Detail ink, and then quickly sprinkled on some crystal clear embossing powder from InkOn3 and heat set that with my heat tool. I'm going to be doing some watercoloring, like I said, and I am using Shimmer watercolors on today's card. I have been loving to use Shimmer watercolors because they're easy to use and they give a nice touch of some shimmer. Now, if you don't have Shimmer watercolors, don't fear. You can use regular watercolors. You can even use the InkOn3 Atelier inks to watercolor with, and then go over it with some liquid pixie dust and you'll get the same effect. What I'm doing here with the Lotus is just kind of creating a stained glass effect for the lily pad in the background. So I'm going to be grabbing a couple different colors of greens, but using the same technique. What I like to do is put my ink in the where I think it'll be darkest, so where it's kind of closest towards the center, and then let it dry for a couple seconds while I do another area. And then I'll come in with clean water and drag that color out. This is how I like to watercolor because it creates depth and dimension quite easily. There you saw me dropping in just a little bit more color towards that center just to deepen up that color. Now, like I said, I was going to use a whole bunch of colors of greens and teals to color in this lily pad to create a stained glass or mosaic effect. I just kind of rotated through, I think I used maybe 4, possibly 5 colors, and just rotated through, trying to make sure that none of those little areas that were right next to each other were the same exact color, to just keep them a little bit different and keep that kind of mosaic vibe going on. Now, my background is in science. However, botany was never an interest of mine or a strong suit of mine. So I've heard of a lotus flower, but I had no idea what they looked like. And so I actually had to Google what a lotus flower looked like. And some that I saw that really caught my attention had color to them, but then the color wasn't saturated the same throughout the whole petal. It kind of got lighter towards the tip. So I'm going to be taking that effect and trying to mimic that. So I'm taking a dark purple color, just adding that towards the center part where my petal is going to touch the center of my flower. And then I'm coming in with clean water and working that color out. Now here's where things are going to get kind of a little bit fun. I'm going to come in with a clear diamond color shimmer watercolor and just drop that into the tip of the petal. And what's going to happen is, since the tip of the petal is wet because I've added clear water there to help pull out the purple, and then I'm dropping in that diamond watercolor, it's going to push that purple color back towards the center, and the edges of the petals are going to remain lighter. It's a really fun effect. So here's my finished Lotus watercolor piece, all shimmery, and even the edges are shiny because I use that crystal clear embossing powder. Now, to create a background, I wanted to create an easy frame. You can definitely cut down your stenciled piece and mat this onto white cardstock, but I decided to mask off 1/4 inch around each of the edges of my A2 panel. I sprayed the back of my curl stencil with pixie spray, and then I'm going to come in with 2 colors of Atelier ink and blend this background together. I wanted to have a gradient background effect with light purple at the top and dark purple at the bottom to tie in the purples that I used on the lotus flower. So here I am just kind of ink blending, and I'm starting with the My Jam Purple Atelier ink at the bottom, and I'm going to go over that with Peacock Blue. There's only one purple in the Atelier ink line, but you can add that blue to create that darker purpley effect at the bottom. And then I'm just going to go back and forth between the My Jam purple and the peacock blue at the bottom. And I'll take the My Jam purple and fade that out towards the top. So I'm only using 2 colors of ink, but it looks like a lot more between fading that out to the top and then adding that blue over at the bottom. I'll peel back my purple tape, and here's my nice white frame all around the outside. Now all that's left for my card is a sentiment. My sentiment is from the Lotus stamp set, and it just says, "I miss you," but I really loved the font. I'm stamping that in Blackout Hybrid Detail ink, and then I'm going to add everything to my card with foam tape. So this is my finished card. It's a really simple card, but lots of impact with that one layer background with that gradient effect, and then the shimmer Lotus coloring. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I have listed and linked the InkOn3 products I used in this video in the video description below. Happy shopping. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Thank you again very much for watching this video. If you liked this video and you'd like to see more from me, please hit that subscribe button that is on the screen now. And here are a few other videos that I thought you might enjoy.